All right, we are currently in question 3, and this will take some time to create because we need to create the ST subhead table and the bullet style into your Microsoft Word source file. So at the beginning of the question, they ask us to create these files basing each of them onto a default normal paragraph style. This information is important because you got to make sure that you do that in your document. All right, so right here in a Microsoft Word, we have already in step 2 put in the page automated page number, and of course the right alignment with our candidate details. Mind again, this is a practice. In a real exam, just make sure you put in the real details. In order to create the style, we simply make sure that we put in one of our cursor to the first line of the subheading. Usually in the exam, they ask us to apply some style, but bear in mind that we're just using the first line heading to just test our style, but later in the document, you do have to make the changes on your own. So put a cursor somewhere at the first line, and then you just go ahead and select this styles menu right here. That's what we're going to do. We're going to make sure that we create the ST subhead based on a normal paragraph style. So I'm going to just type this subhead and making sure that this is under the normal base, and this is based on ST subhead. That should be correct. And then based on the details right here, we just need to make sure sans serif 14 and center. Sans serif is Arial. This one is 14, and this should be center. Okay. Now, once you're done, you make sure it's all capitals, bold, and single. Now, all capitals needs to go all the way into format, font, and select all caps. Once that is selected, we're going to make sure that this is bold. Bold is right here. Make sure that this is bold. And then the formatting of that line spacing, just go onto format, paragraph, select this as single. Before we click OK, we just need to change the space points right here on 9. Okay, once that's completed, select OK. All right, so based on this, you can see that this is all the stuff that you have already selected should be right here. And go ahead and select OK. Now, this subheading will be changed according to your style, but we don't have to worry about this because later on we will change that in the future. So we'll just leave it be, and then we're just going to go ahead and select a new style. And this time we're going to create ST table. ST table is the second one here, and ensure that you apply serif 11 and left. So making sure that this is also ST table, and this should be based on normal rather than the one that we just choose just now. Okay. And then serif font, by default, I prefer to use Times New Roman. Font was 11, and this is based on left. After that, we had to choose italic, single, and 0 spacing. So, it's italic, and then format, paragraph, single, and both of these is 0. Once we're done, select OK. All the details should be correct, and then press OK with this. All right, the very last one for us to create is the ST bullet row. Just go ahead and do the same thing, create a new style, type in ST bullet, and then ensure that this is based on normal paragraph style. Go through the requirements, serif font, which is Times New Roman as default, is my choice, 11 and left. Now, this one is a little tricky, and most students often forgot, is to apply this as square shape and align this to the left margin. To do so, we just go onto the format at the bottom and ensure that we select numbering and select bullets right here. Now, it doesn't really show us an example right here that the bullet has been applied, but don't worry, it actually does happen because the indentation has already been applied. Just make sure before you do so, we're gonna make sure that this is to the left margin. Now that simply means that the left should not be 0.63. We make sure that we indent this and so that it will be 0 centimeters towards to the left. All right, so it begins exactly on the left margin. And once we're done, we're going to make sure we're going into the spacing one more time and ensure that this one is 0 and this one's single. All right, so this one literally is to the left margin. We make sure that this is 0%, 0 centimeter, and then once that's done, you can select OK. Now, in the preview itself, once you're done, this one is literally on the left margin with the numbering right there. And so the next step is that we need to take a screenshot to show that we have defined the ST subhead by simply going onto the ST subhead, select modify, and then you can open up the snipping tool and just copy this detail. So I'm just going to select new here, and then I'm going to screenshot this entire menu to show that I created this ST subhead. I'm going to copy this, and then I'm going to paste this inside the evidence folder. Pasting this into step 3, evidence 2. And there you have it. You've completed question 3.